Nur-Sultan hosted a forum of Women's Entrepreneurship Day, or My Business Day 2019. Both experienced business owners and starters took part in the event. They have shared experience in achieving success in different areas and addressed concerns of forum participants. The forum featured Kazakh women CEOs with nearly 5 years of experience in leadership positions. Organizers said that the event is aimed at motivating young business women as well as lifting up their entrepreneurial spirit.
У нас не только бизнес-тренинги, у нас идет коучинговая поддержка и поддержка внутри.
In addition to business trainings, we have the coaching support group, including the intergroup support of women. At the end of November, we plan to organize a big summit. All the participants of trainings will share their success stories with the public. They will talk about the trainings and their impact on their businesses.
Расскажут, как они проходили обучение и как это обучение повлияло на их бизнесы.
The European Parliament has supported the delay of the start of the new European Commission until December 1st. 3 more candidates are expected to join the Commission. The legislative body of the EU has rejected 3 designated commissioners from Hungary, Romania and France at the stage of testing their integrity and fitness for office. The new Commission will include 27 commissioners, 1 member per member state. The Turkish Foreign Ministry is preparing retaliatory sanctions against the United States. This was announced by spokesperson of the Turkish President, Ibrahim Kalin. In October 14th, President Trump was critical of Ankara's military operation in northeastern Syria and imposed sanctions on Turkey. However, President Erdogan said that Turkey will not finish the military operation. Protests in Catalonia continue, causing riots and violent clashes with the police. 40,000 residents took to the streets against the verdict of the court, which sentenced separatist leaders to a lengthy prison term. Protesters threw different objects and demolished barriers at law enforcement officers. In response, Catalan law enforcement bodies used batons and rubber bullets. The state administration, the tax system, military and even post services on the territory of modern Eurasia were formed during Golden Horde. This was stated by historians at an international conference dedicated to the 750th anniversary of the great medieval state. Experts said that the Golden Horde is known not only for its military power, but also for its developed system of trade and economic relations at the Eurasian scale. In addition, the Golden Horde developed economic relations with Europe, China, Egypt and the Ottoman Empire. Historians expect that these findings will inspire writers and artists to create works related to the Golden Horde and thus will contribute to increasing the public consciousness. It is necessary to restore historical monuments of Kazakhstan, such as Sarayshik, Sığanak and Sauran. We have to save all letters of ambassadors and books by Italian monarchs who paid a visit to the Golden Horde, as well as Arabic scripts and Persian manuscripts, which describe the history of this state.
Такой интересный факт можно фиксировать из Золотой Орды.
There is another interesting fact. Grains were exported from Golden Horde to Europe, specifically to Italy. Thus, it was more than the state of nomads, but it was an entire civilization which had Turkic and Mongol roots. Slavs used to live in the state as well.
Имеет тюркские, монгольские истоки. Там и славяне жили в этом же государстве.
Museums of Kazakhstan and Russia plan to organize joint exhibitions. Experts of the 2 countries also plan to conduct joint archaeological research. Sarayshik State Historical and Cultural Museum Reserve in Atral region signed an agreement on development of partnership with Russian museums in Astrakhan and Volgograd regions.
С большим удовольствием будем сотрудничать
We're happy to cooperate with Kazakhstan and the Kazakh Museum Reserve in order to introduce our museum's exhibits to as many Kazakhs as possible.
О том, что имеет и хранит наш музей.
To date, archaeologists from Astrakhan, artists and topographers such as Plakhov, Panteleev and Biryukov work in our museum reserve. I expect that we will have an opportunity to conduct archaeological excavation in the territory of Russia. Expansion of partnership between museums of the two countries will contribute to further reinforcement of relations in research and tourism. Students of Nazarbayev Intellectual School in Aktobe have developed the application for people with visual impairments. The app is designed to do two main tasks: voices over a text and describes an object or a person when the camera is directed at them. Another development is called Blind Helper. This is an intelligent cane with a navigation system designed for visually impaired persons. Using built-in sensors and a processor, it finds the location of a person and gives directions. It's necessary to install special modules into the device so it could work in streets and buildings. The people with visual impairments will be able to move around without help. The device is designed to give tactile vibrations to visually impaired persons so they can recognize locations and reach the endpoint without help. The main goal of the project is to help blind people because it's often hard for them to do things on their own. I think this device will help to significantly ease their life. The poetry collection Song is a Master of Words of Abay Qunanbayoğlu was presented in Kyrgyzstan. Philologists highlighted that the new collection has inspired Kyrgyz readers to discover the creativity of the Kazakh philosopher. Abay's first book was published in 1944, then in 1970s, and once again in 1995. This book is the sequel of publications of the famous Kazakh poet and philosopher. Ağalı Tokombayev was the first to translate Abay's poems into Kyrgyz language. Then other translators started translating the poems, and the translations were interesting in their own way. 50 collections of Abay Qunanbayoğlu's poetry were donated to Jusup Balasagun Kyrgyz National University. The Kazakh embassy in Kyrgyzstan allocated funds to publish works of the Kazakh poet and enlightener. Famous figures of science, culture and politics, as well as students, were invited to the presentation of the publication.
Прежде всего, это, конечно, направлено для молодежи. Почему? Потому что, вы знаете, слова...
First of all, the target audience is young people, because Abay's words are more than edification words and the words of wisdom. These words have a message that life is wonderful and should continue.
Именно вот эти слова, они, прежде всего, направлены для молодежи.
Nur-Sultan hosted a concert titled Unforgettable Songs, dedicated to the memory of outstanding Kazakh composers such as Temirjan Bazarbayev, Ablahat Yespayev, and Sadık Muhamedjanov. People's artists of Kazakhstan and young singers took part in the concert. The event was organized with participation of Symphony Orchestra of Nur-Sultan Philharmonic. The concert was held as part of the modernization of Kazakhstan's identity program.
Осы ұмытылмас әндер біздің осы Қазақстан композиторларын дәріптеуде. Сол эстрадалық концерттің...
The concert is organized in order to promote creativity of Kazakh composers. This is the second concert. We organized the first one a year ago. This year, the highlight of the event was the participation of Symphony Orchestra. There was no phonogram, only live performances with orchestra music. It was amazing.
Көшіп жатырмыз, балаларда әндердің сөзін жаттап, осындай композиторлардың әндерін шырқата берсе деген ойымызбенен.